What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Joe Fleetwood Podcast. This is Season 2, Episode 3. Today, we're going to break down stories behind power, influence, money, culture, and the people who changed the game. Today is about a man who became one of the most powerful black businessmen in America. And he did all this without mainstream media ever really talking about him. He's a comedian who turned billionaire mogul, a man who went from sleeping on couches in Hollywood to owning television networks, the Weather Channel, and other syndicated programs. And now he's acquiring a massive stake in Starz. We're talking about none other than comedian and billionaire mogul Byron Allen. And if you don't know his story, this episode might completely change how you look at media ownership in America. Byron was born in Detroit, Michigan in 1961, but eventually he moved to Los Angeles with his mom. His mom worked as a publicist at NBC, and that connection gave Byron access to television studios at an early age. Now imagine this. You're a teenager sitting in NBC studio. You're watching comedians, producers, executives, camera operators, and absorbing everything. Most kids are watching TV. Byron was actually studying TV, and that was the difference. By age 14, he was already performing stand-up comedy. And by the age of 18, he was the youngest comedian to be on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. And that appearance would change his life forever. Back then, there was no social media or any way to get your name out. But being on The Tonight Show was like getting verified by everyone in the entertainment industry. But here's where Byron separated himself from other entertainers. He realized something celebrities never would, and that was being famous is not the same as being powerful. Ownership is power. He saw actors getting rich, but he saw studios getting wealthier. He saw comedians becoming stars, but networks owning profits forever. So Byron Allen made a decision early on. I don't just want to be on television, I want to own television. And that mindset pretty much changed everything. By the 1990s, Byron launched a studio called Entertainment Studios. Now, this is where the story becomes legendary, in my opinion. Byron figured out a loophole in television syndication that no one else was exploiting. He would create a low-cost television show, then offer it to the stations for free. Sounds crazy, right? But here was the catch. He kept the advertising rights. That meant the station got free programming, while Byron kept all the ad revenue. Pure genius. While Hollywood was chasing blockbuster productions and giant budgets, Byron built the cash flow machine quietly, strategically, and relentlessly. And over time, those small syndicated shows started generating millions, then tens of millions, then hundreds of millions. Most people still thought Byron Allen was, that comedian from back in the day. Meanwhile, he was buying entire media companies. He acquired the Weather Channel, he launched dozens of television networks, and he expanded into digital streaming. Then he started producing films. And then came one of the biggest flexes of all times. He started trying to buy major networks. At one point, he reportedly bid billions for companies connected to major media conglomerates. This wasn't a celebrity playing business. This was a real businessman competing with Wall Street. Now, fast forward to today. Reports say Byron Allen has acquired 11% stake in Starz. And this matters for a big reason that people don't even realize. Content ownership is the new oil. Streaming wars are happening globally, and cable is completely dying. Digital platforms are now fighting for exclusive content, and Starz still owns a valuable intellectual property, subscriber relationships, and distribution power. Byron understood something that many don't. If you control distribution, you control influence. That's why billionaires buy media companies, not just for money, but for power. One thing I respect about Byron is he never waited for permission. Historically, Hollywood hasn't been friendly to independent black ownership at high levels. And Mr. Allen spent decades complaining about this. He built and he kept building. While people were laughing at his low-budget projects, he was stacking assets. And that's a lesson for everybody listening to this show. Sometimes flashy loses consistency. Sometimes the quiet businessman beats the loud celebrity. And Byron is proof of that. When people talk about media moguls, they think Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Sean Combs. But Byron Allen belongs at the top of this conversation, in my opinion. Because unlike many celebrities who license their image, Mr. Allen focused on infrastructure. And I talked about that in my last podcast, focusing on infrastructure, networks, distribution, advertising, libraries, and ownership. That's the generational wealth territory. And it's also what I like to call dynasty level thinking. Now, there are a few lessons that people can take away from this journey that Byron had. Number one, never underestimate small beginnings. Number two, Ownership matters more than popularity. Number 3, consistency beats hype. Number 4, learn the business behind the thing that you love, whether it's podcasting, music, YouTube, real estate, or even tech. The people that own the platform usually win bigger than the people performing on it. And that was Byron Allen's blueprint. So imagine this, Byron Allen, a stand-up comedian, going from the stage to $1 billion boardroom. And the crazy part is, a lot of people still don't really understand how powerful this man is. And that's why I wanted to do this episode, because success doesn't always look loud. Sometimes it looks like ownership papers. And sometimes it looks like a single dude sitting behind a microphone hosting a podcast. So with that being said, man, I hope you guys enjoyed today's show on Byron Allen. And if you did, make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button, as it really does help my channel, man. I appreciate you guys for listening. Take care till episode 4. Peace.